Philip Norbury. This is part 3 of a series of 4 videos. Are we hiding? I think we're all hiding to a degree. And who am I to teach? Is it me that's just revealed an awful lot more through awareness? And many more of us will go that way. So rather than teaching, sort of pointing the way to what we're capable of, by taking time out to look inward and take time in stillness for yourself. Stillness is so powerful, and it's difficult to understand how doing nothing might be the most you've ever done. That sounds paradoxical, but it really is true. When you get into that situation, that quiet world, the stillness, mo goes off, nature's happening in stillness. We're part of nature, and I think our special part of that is we're in stewardship of it. We've perhaps not done our best job as stewards of nature. I think that's where we are in, and perhaps that's where we are in our cycle, in that we are realizing where we are, and that our abilities are within, and what we can share is more in unison with nature and the universe than seeking external stimulation, external growth. External growth is something we've achieved. The ascent of man may be at the expense of environment. But I think we're at this great turning point now where humans are becoming more regenerative, and there's a lesson to look at AI, how AI is our intelligence made available to us, a collective intelligence, if you like, and that almost is a time or a cursor to say, yeah, that's what you've got now, that's what we've accumulated, but have a look inside. What are we capable of? What brain states are we capable of that we previously didn't think were possible? We've got certain records of monks living till they're 150, sometimes 200 years old. They can withstand minus 40 degrees and sweat in that situation. So they can achieve, but they can stop their hearts, and that's under laboratory conditions where these things have been tested. Check it out yourself. The evidence is there, the science is there. So there's a lot of science around which points us back towards the beauty of nature, and I think that's, what are we hiding? When it's time to celebrate, I think that we are stewardships. We are in stewardship of this great life. And recognize and notice there's a difference between being motivated to go outside, should be doing something, and getting to a point of impulse. I've mentioned that before. Threshold of impulse, where we can choose to react or respond, and we are responders. In reaction, we tend to push forward into the next moment, and once we're in the next moment, or looking for the next thing, we're no longer in this moment, and that's where life is, in this moment. When we go beyond that, it's not enough in this moment. So what is it that we're hiding? We're hiding that perhaps that we're not enough, not just individually, but as a race. And we look outside ourselves to get more. Fear of not enough pushes us to a place. And there's a connection we can have. That connection is very strong. By being still, yes, we can have a connection in a physical term between people. But if we sort of desist from that and focus on a connection within, then that connection goes through in a different way. We're all connected at source, and certain experiments would prove that a split photon experiment, where split photons are separated. I've mentioned that before. So there is a connection, I believe, beyond this, beyond language. Language is great, we can use language to communicate, but there is another connection with all of life, the universe and the earth. And we don't practice at that because we're too busy looking for agitated or willed. It's easy to get into stillness and then think, I need to be doing something else. If you can just sit with that and connect up, just for a few minutes a day to start with. And then we might see that that's perhaps where we are best living life, in that stillness, in that brain state. And using other things as tools rather than achieving brain states of anxiousness in reaction or unconscious reaction is what I would talk about, with where we have an unconscious argument, where we believe some aspect of life should be other than it is. I think that's the key thing to our disquiet. Somewhere we've marked a line in the sand that life should be other than it is. That's an argument with life. Until we resolve that, then we're not going to get to that 100% stillness without distraction. So it's what we're after is being able to get still and notice our special goggles, if you like, our special skills, and what we've been given to be stewards. So often it's easy to get dragged into the narrative of the moment by wishing that was other than it is. You know, what Donald Trump goes and starts to create war on Iran. And once you're in that there, when you're with those guys, wishing they were other than they are, then you're in that power. And it's a matter of coming back from that and saying, okay, you're doing what you're doing. I can't do much about that from here, so I'm not going to give my power to that. I don't condone war, I don't condone these things. If it comes to my doorstep, I will defend. But we don't have to waste our power of energy in there. We can come back to stillness and we can observe that situation and observe our reaction to that, and perhaps be more responsive, not condoning that old model of reaction, but then start to build a new model which takes us into a better way of living together. And as soon as we're in stillness, we're not giving power to those kind of narratives. We're in a stillness, and what power does that give then to the new model that we all really want, I believe. So that's it. I think this thing is about connection here, and not surpassing that, not trying to get past it, even with pain or any kind of disquiet. Sit with that. What's it coming for? What's it here for? Interpret it. Don't push it off. Just be aware of what happens outside that comes into you, and try and deal with that, and let it balance. Let it notice it. Breathe into it. Give yourself 3 breaths. If it's a tension in the body, just place your hand on it. Don't try and get rid. Just sit with it. Breathe 3 times. And then breathe to less pressure. And then just let it float away. Ask where that pressure's coming from. That's the end of part 3. I look forward to doing the final part 4. Thank you for listening.